welcome to Banter and Such. I'm Brando.
And I be Owen.
And today we're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean!
Arrgh! And today we have our first mate, Mr. Pat Daddy himself.
Ahoy, mateys.
And lastly, we have our quartermaster. You've heard her voice many times before on the podcast.
Or bitches.
That is Nicoletti Spaghetti.
All right, let's get into some BS. That was way more SpongeBob than it was.
I went full SpongeBob.
I can't.
Are you ready, kids?
I can't hold it for that long.
I don't. Yeah, I can't do any accent for too long.
Get like one sentence.
But before we get into legitimately one of my favorite movie franchises of all time, Pirates of the Caribbean, we want to give you a heads up on how to find some good Helios Network booty.
Yes, check out theheliosnetwork.com. We got our merch up on the store where you can buy cool stuff like Wasted Truth t-shirts and Banter and Such pins. I cannot overstate how adorable these Banter and Such pins
They're
are.
great, yeah.
Because they're little plastic Owen and Brandos.
Pins, yeah, and we're thinking about making them into butt plugs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our pin could be on the outside of your butt.
I mean, technically, you could already use them as,
I would
as a butt
highly
plug.
suggest not. It's very pointy.
That's
not in a good way.
theheliosnetwork.com. Check out our merch store.
And if you'd like to support the show and make the Helios Network butt plugs a thing, make sure and check out our Patreon. The link is in the show description. It helps support us and enable us and do all the great stuff with the Helios Network. And you get bonus banter, some other cool stuff, and you get to vote on like episode topics.
Yeah,
You get to talk to Brando and I on a more intimate level.
that's right.
And you get to sail the open seas with us
Ooh.
of the podcasting networks.
All right, so now this is the final of our adventure series, and we have some special guests with us today, right, Owen?
Yes. So, in all seriousness, we do have Patrick O'Shea, a.k.a. Pat Daddy, and Nicoletti Spaghetti, and you know her from Wasted Truth, and she's been on like 18 episodes of Banter and such now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, Pat Daddy, show us your receipts. Why are you... Oh, wait, hold on, let me rephrase it. Show us your sunken treasure.
Ooh,
Why are you on this episode?
Well, if you have known me at all in the last 7 years and have spent any Halloween near me, around me, working, or you've seen it, I don't know. I've been dressing up as Captain Jack Sparrow every single Halloween for the last 7 or 8 years. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Yeah. The first 6, any time of the day that I was in costume, and this doesn't matter who the audience was, whether I'm by myself in a bathroom looking into a mirror or working behind a bar or walking to my car past some police officers. Yes, that's a true story. I am in 100% character, and it is unbreakable. It has been unbreakable.
It's intense. I've witnessed it.
It's obnoxious. I'm aware of that.
Very much so, yes.
I've had friends, and there's one time I did this for 3 days straight of being in complete character.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the day after Halloween, I literally had to practice walking straight and talking normal because my brain and chemistry was just...
Who am I?
He's a full character actor, for sure.
Wait, what's this deal in front of police?
Okay, so this one time is in the middle of the day. I was walking like Captain Jack Sparrow. I was stumbling.
Were you in the
100%? I was dressed up.
Okay, you were
also,
so it wasn't just like you stumbling.
No. Okay. Only when I'm dressed up am I in character.
Okay.
And it's this weird thing when I'm getting ready in the mirror. Like once a certain piece goes on, it's like, oh, and now we're here, whatever. No, I stumbled by a couple of police officers with my keys in my hand, walking to my car. I didn't drive anywhere, but for all they could have assumed, I was hammered at 2:00 in the afternoon. But I was like, well,
I mean, that is a norm for you.
No, it's not.
Fresh call out.
I resent that. Anyways, yeah, so it's been a thing for the last couple of years. And only the last couple of years that I decide, okay, now it's time to get out of character. Let's have a normal night, not be a fucking weirdo. I do have the Captain Jack Sparrow tattoo.
Oh, and get
That
a picture
he
of
does.
that. We got to put that online.
Among other newly added
That's
things.
awesome. Yes.
I have the Blackbeard flag tattoo. I have the Calico Jack the iconic pirate flag symbol.
The skull and the
Yeah,
swords.
skull. Just the iconic skull and crossbones. Have the East India Trading Company logo
Oh man, you are all in.
And the doubloon.
and the Aztec gold. The
Yeah.
cursed Aztec
Oh
gold.
yeah, that's
I
the
have
coin.
that too.
You do
Do
too.
you?
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Yeah, yeah. So
Twinsies.
yeah, I got.
And then I have the phrase "What a man can do and what a man can't do" tattooed right above the sparrow.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the only person I know that has more Pirates of the Caribbean themed tattoos than me.
There you go. There you go.
Awesome. Awesome.
What about you, Nick?
Oh, I
Show
just
us your receipt.
I just commandeered coming into this episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many times? All right, hold on. Every single time someone says like a piratey word, we're gonna.
Deal. Love it.
Okay.
No, Pat and I were working together tonight, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm recording an episode of Banter and such after this," and I was like, well, I was asking you to come drink with me, so I just invited myself."
Yeah, Pat
But
literally in the group text like, "Is it cool if Nick comes?" It's like, sure. So is that a
Passive
game?
aggressive.
I
It's fine.
guess.
Twist my
guess.
arm.
Yeah.
No. I love rum, and I've watched all the movies many times. So
And your voice is familiar to everyone because they've heard you from the amazing
Wasted Truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've heard you from like many episodes of ours.
I know.
It's either you or Puck who's been the most.
Puck has definitely been the most.
Yeah.
I think Puck, including you on this episode right now, I think is one ahead of you.
Oof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we gotta
and you're
have
not
a-
going to be on the.
I'm
season
well
finale.
aware, and I'm still bitter. We're not going to talk about it. Thank you.
Speaking of wasted truth, I just want to go on record and publicly apologize for my disastrous episode.
You can blame me for that episode.
Wait, what
I-
episode is that? So we can
I
link that so people can go listen
Oh,
to
I
it.
got you.
I apologize, but also place full blame on Owen.
Check the
Yes.
show notes for this disastrous of an episode so you can listen
don't
to
have
it.
to do that.
We drank significantly before Pat's episode.
Oh, you were-
100%,
you were there
yes.
too, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're at Henry James. It was a happy hour. We literally were drinking, we're having fun. And I was like, all right, guys, it's time to go. But then Pat Daddy over here bought a round of chartreuse, and then
That sealed the deal.
that sealed the deal for that
That's-
episode.
I think,
Everyone was
I
like,
think the
"Ah."
nickname Pat Daddy was born.
It
that
was?
day.
It was born down on that
That's
episode.
when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I know yet because this is the first time I'm meeting you, and I've just texts have gone around. I was like, oh yeah, Pat Daddy's going to be in this episode. You're in our spreadsheet as Pat Daddy
Yep.
for this scheduled.
You're
episode
in my
and everything.
phone as Pat Daddy.
I
yeah.
understand. Yeah.
So like, I'm not going to be able to connect with you with any social media accounts because you're just
Well,
Pat Daddy.
I changed my Instagram to Pat Daddy
Okay, well,
whilst
there we-
blacked out that very night.
After the episode,
You
yeah.
embraced it.
Yeah, so that's just a whole thing.
No, it was
We're
great.
gonna-
I have a receipt that I would like to share.
Well, you were talking about the tattoos and everything.
Yes. So I grew up if you're a longtime listener, you know I grew up in Southern California, Orange County. I grew up right next to Disneyland. So I'm a huge Disneyland fan. As a kid, no, if you're gonna open it into the mic.
Oh, do
That's
it,
what
baby.
I'm waiting for you to take a
You know,
breath.
please.
Oh, just crack
Just
it,
go.
baby.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah. So do they have the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at
Yes.
Disneyland?
Yeah, Disneyland. And ever since I was a kid, it was my favorite ride. Now, I think because we have talked about the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie before
Yeah,
in season 3 opener of my favorite movie of all time.
that was one of our favorites. Yeah.
Yes. I think I might have told the story, but here it is. So, anyways, I'm a kid in diapers still, like being able to walk whole 9 yards, having a good time. My parents take me to Disneyland. It's me, my older brother, my mom, and dad. They take me on Pirates of the Caribbean, and right next to Pirates of the Caribbean, when you get off, is the store called 8 Pieces of 9,
Okay.
which is from the movie.
Mhm.
Correction. 9 pieces of 8.
Yes, thank you. I was checking to see if you knew, Pat Daddy. 9 pieces of 8. Sorry, it's been a long day. Anyways, so I'm in diapers, whole 9 yards. They take me through the store. Apparently, I was a little thief as a kid. And they had this like black rubber dagger. And I literally lifted it and put it into my diaper. Parents don't know anything. About an hour goes by and I see Captain Hook. And I pull the dagger out.
Pull the diaper off and the dagger, out.
Is that a dagger in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
It's a little bit of both.
I've seen this movie
Yeah.
before.
I literally pull the dagger out of my diaper and I charge Captain Hook. And I'm legitimately trying to shank him. My parents mortified a whole 9 yards, like, where do we get this dagger or whatever? My brother's like, oh, yeah, that's a dagger from the Pirates of the Caribbean store. Parents take me to the Pirates of the Caribbean store. It was like, hey, we're really sorry. Our kid stole this, but it's in his diaper. Is it okay if we just buy it? And the people are like, yeah, it's whatever. And that's when I became a Pirates of the Caribbean fan.
You know, I think if a child steals from a pirate themed store, then it's like, yeah, that's okay. I'm cool with that.
I'm like the Robin Hood of pirates.
Stealing from a pirate themed store, I think, is just very acceptable. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, piracy's coming back now. I mean, with Netflix changing their password thing, did you see all this online?
Oh God, that's
They're about to crack down on people sharing passwords.
Oh shit, seriously.
And so like online, everyone was like sharing all the like piracy websites for, like,
modern day
bootlegging
pirates out
movies.
here.
Yeah, I know.
I canceled my Netflix subscription months ago, so I don't even know.
I saw this tweet that said like a whole like Gen Z is about to learn what a torrent is.
Oh God.
No, so like
LimeWire.
this is like we've been in this adventure series that we've been doing. We talked about Indiana Jones and the Mummy and National Treasure, and on the list when we had to put Pirates of the Caribbean on the list, and you could tell like it's different than the other movies, the other adventure movies, because technically this could fall into the category of like fantasy movie also, or just pirate movie in general. But like I think especially the first one just perfectly embodies exactly what we've been talking about here as far as like adventure things. Like when you look at, there's literally like the treasure with the map, the compass that points to the thing you want most. You have these incredible characters. Definitely this is more of like the swashbuckling side of adventuring.
Yeah.
They don't raid any tombs in this one. But the cave is you always
Yeah.
gotta have, that's
There's some always ancient magic that has been awoken.
yeah. And it is just like
Awakened?
there's
Awoken?
Another one.
awoke.
Oh, awoked.
Yeah.
Awoked. There it is. Awoked.
But like I think this is up there with one of the best, especially the first one, but even like the second and third one. Like these movies are just some of the most fun, some of the most
Absolutely.
just incredible adventure movies, and with some of the most iconic characters. I mean, you're talking about Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow is.
There should be a captain.
There you go. There you go.
I think I wore this wig to get my head warm.
But like it's so quotable, right? Like it's this character is so iconic. He's so larger than life. He's so identifiable. Everyone was dressing up as him for like Halloween for a few years. Like everyone knows the line, right? Like when you say Jack Sparrow, everyone knows like Captain.
But you have heard of me.
Yes, it's just like it's incredible. Like I don't know where to start with this because it's just all so cool.
We have to start at really the opening scene of the first movie, which is maybe one of the greatest introductions, and I feel like I'm repeating myself from the last episode.
Just do it, baby.
But here it is. Man, okay, so obviously they have the opening that sets up, like yo ho, yo ho.
Oh, yeah.
And like Elizabeth Swann. But really, the first scene of the movie,
Iconic.
the most iconic scene is Captain Jack Sparrow on top in the crow's nest, looking over the horizon, sailing into Port Royal.
Port Royal.
Oh, look at me. Oh my God.
Just with this over the top music.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the
Sunset
fucking
in the
music,
background.
it's great. And like, oh shit.
Majestic as fuck.
And then he like jumps off and falls 4 feet, and he's on like a little dinghy, a skiff, really. And he's
So-
like, oh shit, it's sinking. It's like sitting there with the bucket, and he's just trying to save the ship from sinking. And he pulls into port at the exact right moment where it stops, and his like ship is
sunk.
fully underwater.
Yeah.
and it's just on top of it again, and poop, and just glides right on.
Do you know why that ship was sinking?
Oh wait, there's a reason for it. I just thought like that's Jack Sparrow's life.
Yeah,
just narrowly escaping anything
oh, yeah.
really bad
Constantly.
happening.
Yeah.
I don't think many people know this. There was a short film made. It's like 10 minutes long
Okay.
that is supposed to take place immediately before the very beginning of Curse of the Black Pearl.
Oh
It's
wow.
called Tales of the Code Wedlocked.
Okay. Is this like official Disney?
I don't know if it's official Disney. I don't. They say it's on Disney Plus, but I have not seen it on Disney Plus.
What?
But
I've
you can
never
find it
heard
on
of this.
YouTube. Pirates of the Caribbean short film. Just look that up. It's called Tales of the Code Wedlocked. And just to real quickly recap that little 10-minute bit, Giselle and Scarlet, we know those characters.
Oh, the winches from Tortuga.
Yes, the ones that smack Jack in the face.
Yes. Or,
So-
yeah.
The whole film was based off of both of them being betrothed or getting ready to get married to Jack Sparrow. And they find out that they're both getting married to the same person in the same night. And they go to this, they open up the store, it's like a wedding hall or whatever, and it ends up being an auction. So they're being auctioned off to be bought by, whoever wants to bid the highest, and they're
Ooh, creepy.
fighting over each other
All
because
right.
now they've forgotten the whole, like, oh, we're we're not getting married to this famous pirate. We're being auctioned off and sold, and then they're just preoccupied with who gets the highest bid. So
Wait, is it Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow?
Johnny Depp's not even in it. So the opening scene of Curse of the Black Pearl is the closing scene of the short film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's not even in it.
So
but,
it's these other characters.
right, it's just Giselle and
Huh.
Scarlett. So at the end of the bit, they're they're friends all of a sudden. They're like, oh yeah, so Jack, I thought that he was going to get cold feet, so I pulled a couple of screws out of his little dinghy boat. And then you see him like kind of scoop the water out of the boat and it's sinking. And that's because they sabotaged his boat as he was trying to leave.
See, I just imagine like those scenarios just always happening in Jack Sparrow's life. He's getting into hijinks and like barely escaping by the skin of his teeth, but there's still some thing that's like happening, something bad that's happening to him just constantly.
Cotton's in that film too. And he's speaking.
Oh, really?
Cotton is the one with the parrot, right?
Yeah, when it has his tongue cut out.
Yes.
And basically they explain why he had his tongue cut out because he repeated the story that happened and the guy was like, I'll have your tongue if you speak of this moment. And then, you see him saying like, oh, mum's the word. And then obviously we know that he doesn't speak anymore.
See, that's another thing about Pirates of the Caribbean, and especially I think it's highlighted in the third movie. But you definitely see it in the first two also, is like how expansive the world building is. Like there's so much, like the world is so realized. Like each of these characters have these backstories and the characters are so realized. And like the lore behind stuff is so realized. Like there's reasons all these things are happening. And like it really is one of those I mean, I'd put it up with like kind of getting up there with even like something like Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars is much bigger still in scope and scale, but Pirates of the Caribbean is like up there with one of those, like there's a lot going on and there's so much like to mine
and
from.
The way they do it is great because it's not like an exposition dump or anything like that. Like they give you little hints that like pay off like when it does. Like for instance, like the Curse du Bloom that you see in the opening scene, and you see that she steals it, and then like when they're like fast forward 8-10 years later, she grabs it and like, oh, that's the same one, and then hits the water, right? Like instead of just giving you an exposition dump at the beginning of the movie with like, oh, this is what's happening, it's like, no, we're going to give you like little tidbits as we go along. And it like is a perfect little trail for you to follow. And it makes it interesting enough where it's like, okay, so what is going on? What about this? Huh? Okay. So if this happens and all this stuff, so it allows it to not just be, for lack of a better term, like a Star Wars crawl intro of like, hey, here's everything. It's like, no, we're going to take you
the story
on
dump.
this adventure, through it all. And so you can see how it grows and how it all happens.
Yeah. If you notice this, like if you watch especially this first movie, if you watch the movie, you'll notice that every single line in this movie and every single action that happens, everything like means something else. Everything leads to something else. It tells you something else. It is so perfectly written. I said this about Raiders of the Lost Ark too, where like if you want to know who Jack Sparrow is,
Captain.
give him a ding. Give him. But I mean, like they won't just tell you who he is. There's something that shows. I mean, the fact that he haggles with the dockmaster at the very beginning, his first lines of the movie, he's haggling with the dockmaster. Is like, well, technically, it's not docked here; it's sunk. And he's like,
say to 3 shillings, and we forget the name.
Yeah. And so like, okay, he doesn't want people to know who he is. He's kind of a charismatic guy, and then he steals the guy's coin purse from him. So he's got no scruples or anything. Like immediately. Every line and all the jokes, even the jokes are telling you what the story is and what the characters are. And if you watch the movie, like pay attention to that stuff, like you're just like, dude, it's so brilliantly done. And you're like, look at that, dude. Like you can just see some dude like sitting at his laptop writing this, like shaking his head going, fuck yeah, man. Even
with
shit is good.
Orlando Bloom's character, when you first see him as an adult, he's like in the governor's manor. And he like looks up at like a candle staunch and
hilarious.
Grabs it, and it just immediately breaks. And you're like, oh shit! And you're like, what? Well, what's the point of that? And that just seems like a throwaway thing. But then you see that he's a craftsman, and he like makes things really, really well. So like he shows off the sword, and when he does, you see him, and he has like technique and flair to it. So you can see he's trained with these swords.
And that sword has a lifetime as long as the entire trilogy. Like in the third movie, they're like, oh, that's a nice sword. Like, oh, that was the same sword that was in the first movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because
when Norrington,
Davy Jones kills
Norrington
him,
stabs Davy Jones,
and then he takes
kills
it, and
Norrington.
then Davy Jones
This is a
kills
nice
Orlando
sword.
Bloom
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
So many good callbacks,
Yeah.
like throughout
Another-
the series.
Yes.
Another one that I just thought of. So when he is trying to commandeer the Interceptor or the Dauntless, either one,
Dauntless.
he's
yeah.
talking to the two officers who are guarding the.
Oh, those guys are wonderful.
Oh, they're great.
They're just two little background
They're amazing.
characters, but they have their own story.
Exactly. But so they kind of cut into the middle of the conversation where he's talking about like, and he says like, "Oh, then they made me the chief." He's talking about the people on the Pelagosto people,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cannibals.
The island that
Yeah.
they end up going back to, and yeah,
Right.
and they flesh it all out. Like and I love how like those two background guys, like it is so brilliant. Like what they do with background characters, like these could be no name characters, these could be just like whatever. They just serve a story purpose, right? Because you're just like showing Jack Sparrow and how cool he is, but they're guarding the Interceptor, and then later on, those two are the ones guarding Davy Jones's heart in the box. You know, so they're always the guys that get dumped on the
Yeah.
shitty assignment. And then at the end, it's so funny because like at the very end of the third one, you can see that they're like, you know, fuck all this stuff with the British Empire, and they've gone over to the Black Pearl, and now they're trying to be pirates, but they're like super clean, but they're dressed as pirates.
They sounded like you when you were doing your intro.
Hey now,
They're like the SpongeBob guys.
They're like,
And like a
are
cashier
you
at
ready,
Captain D's.
Barbosa? Oh, who's the captain of the Black Pearl? Captain Barbosa.
Oh, God.
It's just they're Captain D's pirates. That's what they are.
Captain D's pirates.
In one of the deleted scenes for Curse of the Black Pearl, the guy he gets shit on by the parrot, and that scene goes on for another like 5 minutes where they both get shit on, one on the face, and it's just like he like grabs the bird poop and like puts it on his other side, and it's just a hilarious little
Oh
bit.
my god.
Oh gosh.
I see why it was a deleted scene. But,
But even like when you talk about these two side characters, then you have to talk about the two side pirate characters, Pintel and
Pintel.
Rigetti.
Yes, I didn't know their names, but
Yeah.
I know exactly who
Who
you're talking about.
Yeah, because they see, like, I mean, honestly, like, I remember watching the trailer and it's like, hello, puppet.
Oh,
And that became like one of the more iconic lines of the movie, to the point where like those two characters have a journey through the first trilogy.
oh yeah.
do you want to hear a fun fact about? I think it's Pintel, the one with the eye.
That's Rigetti.
Rigetti, sorry. So in the cave in Isla de Muerta where Jack comes to and he's like all confused, and then they see him and they're like, "You're supposed to be dead." He's like, "Am I not?" And then he's like, "Parley, parsley, parsley,
Parsnip.
parley." That's the one. Parley. Damn to the depths, whatever mutton chopped up of parley. And then he's like, "Oh, that would be the French." Another deleted scene. That conversation goes on for another like 5 minutes. Then he's like, "Oh yeah, the French invented mayonnaise too." And Rigetti's like, "I love mayonnaise," and he's had fans send him jars of mayonnaise for him to sign and send back to them.
That's what you're ad-libbing in some deleted scenes in a movie, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
your mailbox is full of fucking
I
mayonnaise.
have mayonnaise being delivered to you.
You
Should
know
that be a punishment on the wheel? Like, do a shot of mayonnaise?
absolutely.
Oh, that's a big old
disgusting.
spoonful or something.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh.
I love it.
I love it.
But dude, so we were talking a lot about Jack Sparrow, and the only way that this movie can work is if the villain has just as much gusto and flair as Jack Sparrow. And who do you cast for something like that besides Jeffrey fucking Rush
Oh, man.
as Barbosa?
Oh yeah.
So I might be wrong, I think, but I think it was originally supposed to be John Travolta.
What?
Really?
I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
No, I don't want to know. I want to live in a world where that's true. I want
John
to live in a world where
Travolta,
John
no.
Travolta was almost Barbosa.
I read
Was
this
it going to
today.
be dance fighting? Like, what's going on?
Oh my gosh.
Shit, it
Oh,
might not
I'm
be
typing
John
it up.
No,
But it's someone was supposed to be instead of Geoffrey Rush.
Oh, got it. Robert De Niro.
Robert De
Niro. Okay.
Yep.
There was-
Oh, he would have
You
been.
looking at me?
Yeah, he would have been way too serious.
You looking at me?
Yeah.
Captain Jack Sparrow?
That
Jack
doesn't
Sparrow,
sound anything like
I
Robert
don't
De
care.
Niro.
I don't care.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm doing Robert De Niro trying to do a pirate.
Okay.
I'm not trying to sound like Robert De Niro.
So Jack Sparrow was almost going to be Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew
That
McConaughey.
was, I love me some McConaughey.
He's great. But
He'd
no,
be
I
he'd be
can't-
more
yeah.
of a high pirate than a drunk pirate.
Yeah.
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 I like the drunk pirate. I mean, and I don't.
You know what I love about wenches? I keep getting older and they stay the same age. All right.
Like, what was Johnny Depp doing before? Was this like his big? This was a big breakout. This was his Iron Man, right?
He had Blow. He had Secret Window. I think.
I mean, he was an actor before this, but I mean,
yeah.
like, this was his big.
I would say
thing,
this
wasn't
kind
it?
of you had a really good way of putting it, Brandon. It was like this is his Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man,
Yeah.
where like I think
Definitely.
this kind of put him back into mainstream to the point where even in the third movie, in between takes, he was rehearsing for Sweeney Todd. He was
Oh,
like
okay.
singing and like trying to get the remembered like lines and whatnot for Sweeney Todd.
And that's what's crazy. If you look at he was so tied to Tim Burton for so many years, and so like he was in obviously Edward Scissorhands. He was in Sleepy Hollow. You know, he was that Tim Burton character. I think he even voiced one of the I think the Corpse Bride. Wasn't he the voice of the
Yeah.
the guy?
So, yeah.
So
He
like
was.
he was the epitome of pale faced kind of ghostly
Mhm.
like Tim Burton guy, and he was that for years. And then he became Jack Sparrow, and now he's forever Jack Sparrow. Like that's how we remember him.
So he didn't want to come back for the fourth or fifth movie, but Disney offered him like $55 million, and he's like, "All right, fine."
Oh my
yeah,
god!
Twist my
yet
fucking
he's
arm.
still broke. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not
Yeah.
going to get into the controversy
No.
of Amber
Well,
Heard.
well,
and him,
each
but,
one of
you
those
know.
movies is made like around $1 billion, even
Yeah.
just below or just above $1 billion.
And let's talk about number 6 coming out. Let's
Wait, what?
Yeah, is he officially back?
I don't know if he's official.
I won't see
officially
it
back, but
unless
they're-
he's in it.
Oh yeah, they're
Agreed.
talking about having what's her name from
Oh, Britta from
No.
or Harley Quinn.
Robbie? Yes, Harley Quinn. Robbie.
Yeah,
what's her name?
Margot
Margot
Robbie?
Robbie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As who? The main
As just the main character.
like pirate lady.
Pass.
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
but no, that
Pass.
was scrapped. I think, and he's gonna come
okay.
back.
If
for six.
it's not Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, I won't see it.
But you know what? I don't know if this is controversial or not. I don't think it is, but it seems like it is. At least it is among Disney. But like Jack Sparrow doesn't work if he's the main hero of the story. I feel like Jack Sparrow, especially in the first 3 movies, especially the first one, he is like Orlando Bloom, like Will Turner is the main kind of your traditional Hollywood hero, but because he's played so straight and he's played so like a normal Hollywood hero, like that's what made Jack Sparrow, because Jack Sparrow didn't have to carry the movie, he didn't have to like carry the story, he could just be a presence
his
in the
personality
film.
carried it.
Yeah,
His acting alone carried it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the main.
But
his
he didn't-
character wasn't.
he didn't have to
carrying it. No.
drive the plot.
Exactly.
I mean, and at times he did, but like sometimes he just like messed things up and made things
Mhm.
worse. But then when they took away Orlando Bloom, like that's when I feel like, oh, we need him. We need the normal guy there to play off of.
I mean,
Because he's not like the bad guy, but he's definitely the good guy, and Jack's not also the bad. It's like Jack's not a good guy or a bad guy. He's neutral, but Orlando Bloom
he's
is
the protagonist, but that doesn't mean, he's still
like
in
they're on the
D&D
same
terms,
side,
chaotic
but they're still
neutral.
against each other.
yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it depends on whatever fits best for him. So it's like sometimes he's the good guy, sometimes he's the bad guy. It's just because he's a pirate and
Yeah.
he just cares about himself.
I mean, he
and his
saves
money.
Elizabeth Swan.
Yeah,
Keira
I love how he really is an example
Keira
of like
Knightley.
Okay,
Keira
before we start drooling over Keira Knightley, I just want everyone in this room to know that she was 17 when
I
Curse of the
know.
Black Pearl was shot.
she was.
She was 17
Her
in the
mom
first
had to
movie.
be on set at all times.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Yep.
Wow.
I know.
That's weird. That shows you what like makeup and Hollywood effects can do. I mean, because she looks like 25. I don't know how she looks older than that.
She's a fucking babe.
yeah. Well,
No,
in
how
later
about a fucking babe?
later movies.
The Pirate King. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Wait.
we love her.
Well, that was her, right?
King.
Yeah. She was the king. Yeah.
what?
She was 17.
Yeah,
If you know
you
what I
didn't
mean.
know that? Even I knew that.
Now you're thinking back to all those times you touched yourself in the first Pirates of the Caribbean.
No
movie.
comment. No
The
comment.
Helios Network.
No
is that-
comment.
From now on, you can only watch the second and third movies.
Yeah.
You can only when you're doing that. Yeah, this was her thing too. Like, because so Johnny Depp, he had his Tim Burton career. Orlando Bloom's just coming off of Lord of the Rings as Legolas, which is a huge iconic character, and I still think his is most iconic. But
Unfortunately.
Keira Knightley though, like the only thing she did before this was Bend It Like Beckham, which was like
that's
a soccer movie, and she got a lot of attention for that. But that was all, and then she explodes onto the scene with this, and like she's instantly, and especially by the third one when she's like pirating alongside everyone
yeah.
else.
Total fucking badass in the third one.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the Pirate King. It's
Dude, when
fucking
she
great.
gives that speech in the third movie, like where she's rousing up the crew, the Black Pearl,
Mhm.
to fight against
That's-
the British Navy fleet, that was genuinely rousing.
That
man.
like goes up alongside Independence Day, the
Yes.
president's speech,
Oh.
or Pearl Harbor, with the general, whatever. I forget the speech
Patton.
he makes. Not Patton, no, MacArthur. Doolittle, whatever, doesn't matter. That's an iconic fucking speech.
Yeah. Wait, General Doolittle?
I don't know, not Doolittle.
He's a doctor as well.
General MacArthur.
He's a doctor. Yeah.
Whatever.
He
We're not
gave
talking
that
about Pearl
speech to
Harbor
those
here.
animals
Yeah.
in his veteran.
The guy who led the Tokyo raids. Whatever.
I'm sorry.
But Independence Day, that speech.
I know that's the one I know.
Admiral Norrington?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think Lord of the Rings wasn't even out yet.
Yeah, this was after Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
This
Lord-
is-
at least one of them.
This is
Curse of
before.
the Black Pearl was 2003, I believe.
Yeah, this is
Are you sure?
I think this is like right
Yeah,
after at
Because
least one
Dead
of them.
Man's Chest was 2006, and
So 2001,
World's End
2002, and
So they came out the
2003.
same year then, because the first Lord of the Rings came
Mhm.
out in 01 as well.
No, so this came out in 03.
Oh,
So
03.
Pirates of the
Oh,
Caribbean came
okay.
out in 03.
Gotcha.
So all three of the movies had been out.
Yeah.
Well, he was really young in this too, wasn't he? I don't think he was.
You're
17.
going to make me feel weird about Orlando Bloom now? Are you just killing my entire childhood?
I mean, do you have a thing for Orlando Bloom?
Can't touch
Who
it.
doesn't?
Who does, it's,
Who doesn't?
Fair.
he's
Okay.
weird, but he's goddamn gorgeous.
That's fair.
What's funny is like I remember when I originally thought it because Legolas as an elf, he's so feminine and he's so even
But
soft.
still so hot.
He is. I mean, he's beautiful, but he's like so
It's
feminine.
giving Harry Style vibes.
And
yeah.
it's just funny that he goes from that to being like this hyper masculine pirate
Yeah,
guy.
like
then.
rugged.
And yeah.
Dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah. Complete opposite of Legolas.
Oh,
but
God.
But I bought
love them
it.
both.
I was like, yeah, he's a pirate. He doesn't brush his teeth.
He was like 25 during the filming of this.
Okay, so
Yeah.
feel free to touch whatever you want to touch.
oh, great.
I
Now you have a
will.
17-year-old kissing a
They
25-year-old.
did not kiss in the first film.
Wait, really?
I don't think so.
Oh, you know
I
what?
could be wrong. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Oh man, now you got me thinking about it.
I know, right?
They didn't. No, they didn't.
Well, I mean, they didn't.
No, because
They got real
There's
close.
a joke where like he's like Jack Sparrow comes. It's like if you're looking for the opportune time, that was it.
Yeah.
So they didn't kiss there.
They kissed at the end.
at the end.
They must have.
But she didn't, or Jack fell off the cliff at the end, not her.
Yeah, no, but they can kiss. That doesn't make it weird.
25, 17.
It was
I mean, that's,
only a kiss.
Well, I mean,
Why did it end
It
up
was
like
just-
this?
Nice.
Thank you. Someone got where I was going with this.
I got you.
Yeah.
I guess Jack Sparrow's kind of a cuck in this.
Fun fact. Speaking of kissing,
Oh God.
in the
Speaking
third-
of cucking,
in the third movie, when Elizabeth kissed Jack,
Oh yeah.
Orlando Bloom did not know about that, so his reaction was genuine. when he
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
that happen.
Oh.
yeah. All right, so we do need to move on. We've talked a lot about the first movie. First movie's great. It's a best of all of them.
Yeah, for sure.
7 out of 5
I disagree.
seashells.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm giving that one a 5 out of 5.
Third,
Yeah,
third
5
one's
stars.
third one's the best one.
Ooh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Them's fatin' words.
Ooh. You know what though,
I
man?
might make you walk the plank right now.
As long as you give me a pistol with one shot,
You know, a true gentleman would give us 2.
it'll be a pair of pistols before. No, was it? It'll be, whatever. I can't do it.
Yeah, I did notice it was the same one. Yes, I did notice. But the second one, okay, so you're coming off the height, right, of Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
All right. Then so everyone's like, well, what are they going to do next? And then all of a sudden you realize it's called Dead Man's Chest. And you're like, oh shit, this is going to be dope. It's Davy Jones. You got Bill Nye, the science guy, coming in
That's
to be
exactly
Davy Jones.
who that is.
And you're like, holy shit, this is going to be amazing. What was your guys' realization of the second movie?
I loved it. I definitely noticed it was, different than the first one, but I still really enjoyed it, man. Even to this day, when I rewatched them, I watched the second and third and I was like, this was fun, man.
I feel like the second one was really just like a setup for the third one to kind of
Yeah.
round up. So I feel like it was just like an intermediate movie
Yeah.
because like introducing all of these characters in the first one and then kind of setting it up for the antithesis, like the final, which is the
Yeah.
third technically.
Well, they were filmed back to back. 2
Yeah.
and 3 was filmed back to
Mhm.
back.
it makes sense.
So she was 18 in the second one?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Presumably.
Touch yourself all you want, Owen.
Oh, God.
You know what? I'm not. I don't know. Maybe we should.
You're
give
supposed to
permission
be
to
the
any
morally
ages.
good one between us, Brando.
Yeah, I don't know if we should be touching anyone to anything anymore.
It's if it's consensual.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways,
And let me tell you,
But she didn't consent. What is she?
I consented to touching myself.
Kiara Knightley's
Okay.
like, go for it, Owen.
I got her email.
Because she responds to all this. Hey,
Yeah.
Miss Knightley,
Hey.
is it okay if I touch you nightly?
Hey!
There we go. There we go.
I'm getting up and leaving.
Pat Daddy, can you please rescue us from this conversation?
You were going to
Okay,
give us.
so-
You're the only one presenting facts here.
So, the first movie, standalone, great fucking film.
So I want to 100%. I want to be with you on this, and I have said this a lot, and this is what I have issues with trilogy movies or movies that are like continuations. Is always it seems like the second one is written to just be a setup for the third one. Where Pat Daddy, you were 100%. I wanted to bring this up, so I appreciate that. Where the first movie, start to finish, is a movie.
Yes.
The
Complete.
second one, there is no
it's a bridge.
ending.
It's a bridge.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is literally part 1 and part 2, and that is my issue
And
with a lot
part
of this
2
stuff.
is Dead Man's Chest and At World's End.
Yeah,
That is part 2. Yes,
Yeah.
they're two different movies.
Like combine them
Mhm.
together.
So
Yeah.
it's unfair to compare them all because, like, yes, out of the 3, number 2, I think, is the weakest one. But because it was meant to be a bridge to the third one, and it's one movie. It's one full movie, 2 and 3.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because it's one story. Just part
100%.
2,
Yes.
You know,
Do you think it's like an Empire Strikes Back kind of thing? Because that's a fan favorite, and that's the middle one.
No, but that's actually a
gotta open
complete
it.
movie, though.
Okay.
I do.
I agree with that.
Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back is a complete movie. Yes, it does have some open-endedness to it for the third one,
But it completes the
it
story.
does
arc,
complete
right?
the
Okay.
story.
Yeah.
There is no complete story in Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah.
Ooh, another fun fact. Speaking of Dead Man's Chest, the very end scene. None of the what was that staff? None of the actors were told who was going to be leading them on the expedition in the third film. They were told.
Oh,
Sorry.
with the reveal of Jeffrey Rush coming
Yes.
back
Yeah.
as
So
Barbosa.
they all thought it was going to be Anna Maria.
What's Zoe Deschanel's character? Not Zoe
No,
Deschanel.
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana.
Oh,
They all
yeah.
thought it was going to be her. So those were all genuine reactions when Jeffrey Rush was walking downstairs. Yeah.
Nice.
So this movie, I do agree. I think it's the weakest of the 3, but
by necessity.
I enjoy it more than I enjoy part 3.
Tell you what, I do enjoy the vocabulary or like the dialogue more in the second film.
Yes, it is really good, and as well, it actually has probably one of the most impressive fight sequences I have seen in an adventure movie.
Ooh, which one is that?
So
the pinwheel?
the pinwheel scene,
That's
they did.
I love that scene.
They did it for real. That's not CGI. They did it. They had not the actors, but stunt doubles go through and actually do it all.
on
I
a
did not
wheel?
know that.
Yeah, on the wheel. So it's all real.
Really?
Yes. I mean, obviously, there's some of the stuff where
That
you cut
changes
to the
everything.
actors and you can tell it's CGI. But when you see it tumbling and moving and you see people like going in and out, it's not the camera turning. It's really happening.
Oh, wow.
And they actually had real stunt doubles like choreograph it and figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
So like when you like visually, it's already fun, and that's a cool little fun and interesting gimmick that I've always wanted to do in D&D. But it's like you see that, and then you find out it's fucking real, and like okay, that is really cool.
That's cool.
That's
Okay.
another thing about all of these movies, but I think it's especially accentuated in the second one, is the special effects really hold up in these movies, especially in the second one. I mean, the Kraken, that creature effect and the tentacles and how it's interacting with the characters and the set in the scene. And not only is it just like, it's not just like, hey, I'm actors standing on a stage and everything's green around me. It's like they built real sets, they built real boats, they built miniatures. There's miniatures in this movie, and it's all combined. Like the special, they combine CGI with miniatures, with sets, with actors, and it's combined so flawlessly. And if you look at the Kraken, if you look at Davy Jones, if you look at all of the monster guys from the Flying Dutchman, they still look amazing to this day.
Yeah,
man.
almost 20 years later, it's fucking awesome.
That blows me away. I've seen movies within the past 5 years where I'm like, it doesn't look as good as that.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Sometimes people just try too hard with CGI nowadays.
Yeah, or like I don't know what it is. Like maybe they got the skill that they got, of the artists or whatever it was. But
Yeah, because like how you said though, Brando, it is combining a lot of different things where with a lot of the members of the Flying Dutchman were practically done with CGI enhancement, right? So you have Bill Skarsgård that comes in as Bootstrap Bill, Orlando Bloom's father.
bootstraps.
Bootstraps.
When he whispers that under his breath, that's my favorite part of the entire franchise.
Bootstraps.
I was like, is that in the script or did he just do that?
Is he just like really into that speech and he's like, yeah,
But like, so like with him and his character, like you see the crustaceans and him and like stuff growing on him, right? And him just being so moist.
Oh, there you go.
Times run out, Jack.
But like you see it, and like a lot.
How
of
old was Bill Skarsgård?
Old enough, let me tell you.
Okay,
all right.
He's at least in his
Yeah.
like 50s.
He said yes, so it's all good.
he got his email as well.
Yeah.
he got the whole cast email.
Part of the 100 years you spend on the Flying Dutchman is consent given to Owen.
If you're listening to this and you get an email from Owen, don't read it.
yeah,
Don't respond.
Don't
to
respond. All I have to do is say, "Hey, did you get this email?" They respond, "Yes." Cool. That's all I
It.
need.
Hey, that counts.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry
Oh,
to everyone.
Yeah, this is a complete and total joke.
Yes.
Please do not be angry with
Don't
me.
take
Don't come for
anything
me.
we say seriously
Nothing-
ever.
yeah.
My name's not even Brando. Don't listen to anything we say.
So, but like that's why it looks so good is they do mix a lot of the different parts of it together where they use practical effects and they use practical makeup and then they use CGI to make it better or
Like
the stuff they
enhance it,
actually
yeah.
can't do.
Yeah.
Where it's like the guy with the seashell on his head and he gets it cut off. Like, yeah, you can't really do that.
I
Yeah.
fucking love that guy. No, that's a tree.
To the left, my left.
Classic.
So they also went literally across the entire world to find scenes or like sets to shoot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went everywhere. So
You mean like on location and
Yeah,
stuff? Yeah.
like
you-
Dominica, Australia, New Zealand, probably like the what's the South America, the tip of it, whatever that's called.
Cape Cod.
No,
I think it's just
Cape. Whatever it's fucking-
the
Did you
The-
say Cape
the
Cod?
Strait of
Cape Cod.
Magellan down
Cape-
there near Argentina.
Yeah.
and
The
Chile.
Cods of Capes.
Cape
Cape
Cod
Horn?
is in Massachusetts.
Cape
Yeah.
Horn, I think. I don't know.
That where is Massachusetts not the bottom of South America? I'm a little confused right now.
No, that's Rhode Island.
That okay, sorry.
It's one of the islands that
Yeah,
visit
that's
from
right.
the
Yeah,
Caribbean.
right, okay.
Sorry.
They literally built roads on an island because they were using the island to film on, and they needed roads to transport stuff. So
Can you imagine like working on that set, even if you were just like a camera guy or
It's
like
Cape Horn, all right? It's Cape Horn.
That's like Cape Horn.
Did you look that up?
I did, yes. I'm not kidding you. I legitimately thought it was Cape Cod.
Like,
Fucking kidding me?
you're like, I'm gonna get this.
It's-
man.
yeah.
Cape
this-
Horn, South America, Cape of Good Hope, South Africa.
Oh, Good Hope.
Yeah.
I don't think they filmed in
There's
Africa.
there's just lots of capes
Capes,
everywhere.
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Cape Horn, Cape Cod. Coddy Horn. Horny Cod.
Cape Cod. Oh, that was your Massachusetts joke. Cape Cod. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Jesus.
brought it back.
Geography.
Someone ordered a Cape Codder from us tonight.
I know he did.
Wait, is that a drink also?
Yeah,
What is
it's a vodka cranberry with a
okay.
lime.
Fucking ass.
Sorry to bring some wasted truth. in
Wait,
right now.
wait. They had to come up with a name for vodka, cran, and lime.
Yeah,
I
and it's a
hate it.
Cape Codder,
I hate it here.
and it's so dumb.
You have,
But I
you have to be
digress.
wearing like white shorts to
Yes,
order that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with like
no linen.
with like the whale belts, boat shoes,
Boat
the whole
shoes,
nine.
Yeah. Yeah. How many anchors does your shirt have
Yeah.
embroidered on it?
How many collars
Yeah.
are you
Salmon
popping
colored
right
Take
now?
your sunglasses off.
It is 9:00 at night.
Why are you wearing this stereotypical sailor hat? I'm a little confused.
Seven
Well,
guys,
someone just gave
all
me
the
one.
same drink. Sorry. Oh, what were we saying? Oh, this movie. So I love this. So this is, I love like the whole filmmaking process behind like the creative process that goes into this. Because if you look at kind of the big picture of what was going on, the first one was this kind of sleeper hit. They were kind of surprised. They were like, let's make a big movie. And if you notice, like it's a Jerry Bruckheimer movie. Like he's one of the producers on this. Like Jerry Bruckheimer did Bad Boys, The Rock, Armageddon, Con Air, Pearl Harbor. Like that gives you a
Prince
picture
of Persia,
like, yeah. And that's who
The
Jerry,
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Are you going to keep
Keep it
doing
going.
this?
Keep it going. Don't
But
stop.
that gives you a picture of who Jerry Bruckheimer. He makes these big bombastic movies that are sometimes silly, but he made this one,
National Treasure.
and that's another one. Yes. Are you reading his IMDb?
Yes, I am. I'm not kidding you. After we watched National Treasure because it's on Disney, it like suggested all these like really crappy movies that all Jerry Bruckheimer,
Yeah.
and I ended up did watch Sorcerer's Apprentice and Prince of Persia.
Well, that's his thing, and then from that came Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was such a hit. It was so well done. They got the right writers, the right director, everything for it.
Absolutely.
And it all came together. And if you like what was going on, like this one-off movie, and it was a one-off movie, and it was this huge hit. It made almost $1 billion. So then that's what's going on then too, was like, I think it was like right before Marvel. And if you can see some of the things in the MCU have taken their cues from
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yeah.
because now this is that time where Hollywood was shifting, where, and if you look at 2 and 3, it's kind of like more overstuffed movie. They're very long.
Yeah.
There's a lot of callbacks to the first movie.
And also introducing so many things that will go, you won't even notice it until like
Yes.
5 episodes or 5 movies later.
The franchise
The
building.
franchise
Yeah.
building.
And-
Absolutely.
and that's what I have a lot of issues with it too. And we touched on it a little bit, but it's like the first movie, as crazy big scale as it was filmed like a small movie, right? Like it didn't. It was contained.
It was very
It was
straightforward.
very straightforward.
It was
It's like,
just-
here's the good
yeah.
guys, here's the bad guys.
Simple elements.
Here you go,
Yeah.
done, right? And then when you get in the second movie, now it's like, well, now we have the East India Trading Company. Now we also have Davy Jones. Oh, and then you meet what's her name, the witch doctor,
Calypso.
Calypso.
Well, yeah,
But
because
yeah,
you end up
you don't,
finding
you don't know.
it's Calypso, and then
Uh-huh.
we're gonna bring Jeffrey Rush back, and Captain Jack dies, and here's the crack. It's like all this stuff.
But look at that, where like look at the Fast and the Furious franchise, where they're known for bringing back dead characters. They're known for taking villains and now making them good guys. This is elements from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, but the Fast and Furious franchise has one thing over Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't have friends. I got family.
That's what Barbosa should have said.
Yeah.
I got a
I love how you had that just like ready to go.
Oh, 100%.
But it's just so to me, it's like it's almost like a historical look at Hollywood. You can see Hollywood changing, and you can see what's to come after all this, with all these big mega franchises and these big mega hits. You can see that in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah.
Like you can watch these movies and it feel kind of like an MCU movie.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I wish they never expanded on, and they expanded in the second one, was Jack Sparrow's compass. I wish it was just always would have been just this, why does he use a broken compass?
Okay, so there's actually some discrepancy in the films about where that compass came into his possession. Because in the third one, or the second one, Tia Dalma, aka Calypso, says, "Oh, that compass you borrowed it from me didn't help you. Couldn't find you what you need." You know, she's telling she gave him the compass in that film.
Oh, okay.
And I know we don't want to talk about the fourth and fifth installments, but in the fifth one, and this is the story as it is in like the books and like the comic books before the movies came out. Jack acquired the compass from a captain of the ship that he was on because they were battling.
Yeah, that's the scene where like he was like young Jack Sparrow,
Oh
right?
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
they made that
battling,
really weird CGI.
Captain
The de
Salazar.
aging,
Yeah,
which
the
is now a
de-aging,
thing now,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so the captain of that boat, that ship, gave him the compass, and then he defeated Salazar, and then that's why he, became captain of that ship.
The No Country for Old Men guy,
Sure.
Anton Chigurh. But he doesn't have a bowl cut in this.
So yeah,
movie.
it's unspecified where the compass, how it got back to Tia Dalma and how she gave it back to him or whatever. That's one discrepancy out of two that I've found in my research.
What's the other one?
Well, not really a discrepancy, but so his. I have some trivia questions. I'm gonna be giving some away.
No,
Oh, then don't.
Oh,
then
no,
don't.
save it.
Then,
Well,
yeah,
no,
save it
actually,
then.
this
No,
one's-
say it because
this-
I'm not going to get it right.
This one's not that important. I have better ones. So his dad, Keith Richards, is the actor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was hoping that was a trivia question.
I'll get to that.
Yeah.
So his dad is Edward Teague. right?
Uh-huh.
Do we know the name of who Blackbeard is in modern history, in the actual Blackbeard?
It's Edward Hatch, right?
Edward Teach.
Teach. Oh,
Edward
that's
Teach is Captain Blackbeard,
Yeah.
the infamous Captain Blackbeard. Edward Teague is the fictional character that is Jack Sparrow's father in the third and whatever.
Nice.
God.
So there's
they wanted to do a little tribute to Blackbeard.
yeah.
Well, so we need to talk about that though. So one of the reasons why I think the third one of the original trilogy, and we're not, we should have said at the beginning, we're not really going to be going much into 4 and 5, but they started filming at World's End, or is it on Stranger? No, it's at World's End. It's the third one.
yeah,
right?
that's the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They started filming it without the script being finished.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where a lot of the shortcomings of the movie is. Like we talked about the shortcomings of the second one, right? Where it wasn't a complete story. I feel like the third one, they didn't know where it was going to end. And the prime example of this is the entire movie is about bringing back Calypso for Calypso to help them take on the East India Trading Company army.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Calypso goes giant, disappears into a bunch of crabs,
And
and
then
creates
says, "Fuck all of y'all."
Yeah, and vortex.
So
No, because Orlando Bloom during that, or Will Smith said, "Remember
Will Smith?
Who Will Smith? Fucking Will
The Fresh
Turner.
Prince of
You mentioned
Port Royal.
Bad
Will
Boys.
Smith.
welcome to Tortuga. Pirates for life.
He just gives
Martin
Calypso-
Lawrence and Will Smith
in
this
East
entire-
India, born and raised.
I'm-
Got
I
one
shouldn't
little
be-
swashbuckle. My mom got scared.
They
Speak
can't
most of
hear
the
you
auntie and uncle
because
in
they're still shooting
Caribbean.
at you.
So stupid. You said one thing
On
wrong.
the
and
ocean
we-
spent most of my days.
Jesus
I am
Christ.
so sorry to everyone
Anyways.
forever for all time.
Will Turner's giving her a little pep talk before she
No, it's
like,
Will
loses
Smith
it.
now. It's just Will Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, just Will Smith.
And saying, "Who imprisoned you? Who told the brother how to capture whatever?" It's like, name him. It's like, what was it, Davy Jones? So he
Get Davy Jones'
She-
name out your mouth.
He slapped Jeffrey Rush. I was like, God dang.
That was way out of left field.
So
I did not see
think-
that coming in that
All the
movie.
pirates
Going, I
stood
don't
up for him and clapped.
Alopecia. That's why I got tentacles on my face.
Oh my God. Yes. We got to snort. That's a real ass laugh right there.
That was a legit laugh. You're welcome.
Sorry, Patrick. This is your first Banter and Such episode.
Welcome.
Yeah. You're welcome to come back. I don't know if you will, if you want to, but
All I was trying to say was she had in her mind that she had to pick a side there, and I think the side was with the brethren because she was betrayed by Davy Jones.
yes. But how big of a disappointment is that? Right, where the entire thing is like, we're going to release Calypso. Maybe it's Keira Knightley when she's 17. Maybe it's the Diadama, whatever. Like, right, like, and all she does is just.
Well, I don't know if they said it, but I got the impression because she gave Davy Jones the power to take the souls who die from the sea.
Yes.
And take them to the afterlife.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, is Calypso like a goddess of the sea? Is she like an element of the sea? Because when she did get released, she essentially became or created that maelstrom. And I was like, okay, is that where they're going with this? Like Calypso is like the embodiment of the sea. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I don't know if they actually said that. I was.
Well, they
it was
did
kind
say
of
that,
unclear.
that Calypso is a goddess of the sea. So they did mention that in the third.
So
movie.
maybe it was just her becoming more of like a chaotic element, and she's just it's just maelstrom, So I don't know, but you're right, they didn't really.
The way I saw it was like she was stuck in that human form. And so like the second that she got released, she was like, fuck all of you guys. Like I'm not picking a
I'm
side.
just leaving.
I'm leaving. I'm fucking out of here. And I'm trying to take as many of you guys with me because like
yeah.
Which
You
would
guys
make
suck.
sense. But the only line that she's given
Yeah.
that supports that is like, well, when her and Davy Jones meet up.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, that's who I am. Like, I am of the
You
sea.
can't- yeah, you
Should
can't
ask
contain
If I
me.
was anything but what I am.
yeah, which
Exactly.
is that's cool though. Going back to someone's nature, it's like, like it's in my nature to do these things, and so that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I actually felt like I enjoyed the third one more than the second one. Partially because the intro of the third movie was so cool, and
It was cool.
like the second movie, it goes into the action and fast pacedness like too soon, whereas in the third one, it's this slow. You see the pirates being hanged. You fucking hate the British Empire.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go to the Singapore port and all the Singapore pirates and like that to me. And it takes its time and I was like, this is cool. I love this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the third one like definitely had me hooked. I think more than the second
It
one.
was definitely a cool like world building of like, oh, there's other kind of pirates.
Oh, yes.
Like
Yeah.
that's sick.
And that brings me to okay, so Captain Barbossa is my favorite character of the entire movie franchise.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Barbossa as my name. Like when I talk to Siri, she's like, "Yes, Barbossa." I like literally like that's it.
Nice.
My Wi-Fi name used to be the Black Pearl, whole 9 yards. So, anyways, but like in the third movie, you introduce probably one of the coolest characters, maybe even cooler than Barbossa, and that is Captain Sao Fang. Is that Sao Fang,
yeah.
played
Is
by
that Sao Fang?
Sao
Sao
Fang.
Fang.
Okay,
Sao
I thought they
Fang.
were saying like Sour Fang, which is like a World of
No.
Warcraft
Yeah,
character.
it is actually Sao Fang. But yeah, Sao Fang, played by Chow Yun-fat, is such an interesting and fun character.
Oh, he's amazing.
So he had a lot of scenes that were deleted too because they wanted to expand to like the international market for that movie, and they had like a very famous Chinese actor. I guess he was a famous Chinese actor. What's the Chinese woman? The
the woman.
Mistress Ching.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
based off of a real
When
like
she-
pirate queen.
Yeah. At the scene of the pirate
Yeah.
lords. Yeah.
So they had a couple. I didn't see the scenes to be honest, but they had a couple scenes where they deleted them because they saw that it was like cultural appropriation. It was like making fun of
Oh,
Chinese culture or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like, maybe
Fine
not.
line.
Maybe that's too much.
Yeah.
Like but yeah, they had a whole like they were trying to make
See,
that like a big
That's kind of an interesting thing too, because I did think that because they introduced Sao Fang, and I was so like, okay, now you have this like Asian actor who's like doing an Asian pirate, and I was like, and he was gross looking, and he's got like these long fingernails
and
and
the
stuff.
scars all over his face.
Yeah, and his teeth are terrible. And I was like,
Then I will take your fury.
and it is it's a fine line because you are showing these characters because they're pirates, so they're like they're dirty, they're gross, they're treacherous, and so you want to show them in that way, but then you can't go into like racial or you don't want people to like feel like it's accidentally going into racial stereotypes. Because I was like, if you take that character and put him into any other movie, like the whole internet would be like, that's not cool, man. You can't show an Asian character that way. And he's all treacherous and with claws and he's gross. But like in the context of these movies where like everyone is ridiculous. And
Everyone's gross.
Yeah, everyone's gross. And that's part of what's wonderful about it.
I mean, even in interviews, Chow Yun-fat said that this was his favorite role he's ever been in.
Really?
And he said, like, in some people like were in other interviews are talking about him is when he would be on set, he actually showed up to help build the sets for his like palace and things like that because he's like, A, he just loved it so much, and B, he's like, if I'm supposed to be like the ruler of this, I should know where like everything is. So he actually helped like build the sets
That's cool.
to like know, so like he had like a better understanding of it, and that's like how he was trying to portray Sao Fang. And I'm like, that is fucking dope.
That's some shit you would do, Bad Daddy. If you
Oh yeah.
because hearing you talk about being all method, you'd show up on scene and you'd be doing some carpentry work.
Not right. I need a new chair. I didn't know that background. No.
He's in one of the spa bathtubs. Like that's where he takes his break. No, that is like and then of course you get into these world building, because then the third one really expands the world, and I loved like the opening scene in Singapore, but also that scene of the pirate lords when they get together and they have their pirate lords meeting. I loved it, and they're bickering with each other, and each one has their own kind of unique flair to them.
This is madness. This is
Yes.
politics.
Yeah, and they're fighting each other, and then when Jack Sparrow's dad comes in, and it's like, of
Brother.
course,
How's mom?
The code is the law.
yeah, and like this is another known fact too, is like they actually didn't give Keith Richards a costume for this. He actually just walked in off the set.
from stage to set.
Yeah, he just he drove from his house and he walked. They're like, just come in as you walk. You already look like a fucking pirate.
Well, you cannot be killed by conventional weapons.
Yeah, he didn't have a script or anything. He just walked on set and said what he would naturally say, and then sat down and started playing guitar.
It's a fun fact about Edward Teague. I guess Keith Richards' character. He was the pirate lord of the Madagascar region before the Keeper of the Code.
Oh,
Ooh,
that makes a lot of sense actually.
so there's like some.
Because he's so vanilla.
Is it like a real world thing they brought in?
No, there's books that basically the adventures of Jack Sparrow, whatever. There's books that I haven't read them, but I've looked into them. But yeah, there's a lot of history in a lot of those characters.
But like even with this, like talking about that in the world building, I loved how they ended up getting to Davy Jones' locker in this one, where he's like, "We're good and lost now." Like it's like like the whole entire point was like if you have to try to find something that's not meant to be found, you have to be lost.
Everyone would know where it was.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
And it's like such an interesting way to go about it, where it's like, no, we're all gonna actually sail to like the world's end, like because the world is flat, and like go into Davy Jones' locker via that way.
We're not going flat earthers right now. Let's go.
I mean, the map that they had was the depiction of a flat Earth, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, any depiction of the world on a map is flat.
It's flat.
But it was a circular map.
No, there's actual flat earther maps where they have like stuff on the edges and stuff where they say like there's like ice on the edges, an ice wall. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I'm just giving you the dumb face because it's dumb.
It is so dumb.
Should I send them an email? Hey, flat earthers.
Can I check off?
Did you receive this email? Yes. And I'm like, well, they admitted it. It's round. They said yes.
That counts. Now, even the visuals of what you were talking about, Owen, of like going to the afterlife, like the ice caves, like the and then the scene where it's the water's reflecting the stars, and then the waterfall they fall off of, like, and then that big white salt desert, like all of that visually was so beautiful.
Yeah,
like, it's
all
like,
three of these
so
movies, the cinematography, the set design, and is just crazy good.
Yeah, like incredible. And I love the ghost scene where they're traveling back. And they have the ghosts underneath the water.
Oh, yeah.
And then the ghosts coming by on their boats.
Yeah. Oh, and then Elizabeth sees her dad.
Her dad.
Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
Not only was that scene just so haunting and beautiful, and like we needed that pause, but then you had that emotional, like a genuine, heartbreaking scene in the middle of this bombastic adventure movie, which is not, you don't always get that, man.
No, definitely not.
Oh.
And I feel like a lot of the times, like when those kind of scenes happen, like it feels just kind of hokey.
Yeah.
But like that was not hokey. I was like, oh, that sucks.
You cared
like
about her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I was watching it with my daughters, and I was like, would you be sad if it was me?
Yeah.
And they were like, no.
Bye, Daddy. Bye.
Have a fun boat ride. See ya.
Say hi to Davey for me.
It's like, you know what? Well, one day it'll happen, and you'll be really sad.
But one of the things we didn't talk about in the second one, but as much as like I was saying I didn't like how much extra like they added to it, one of the things I did really like is Tom Hollander as Cutler Beckett from the East India Trading Company.
Oh, what an asshole.
He's such a good asshole. Like how he plays it is so like he doesn't seem like he has a care in the world, and he knows he's going to get his way no matter what. And it's done so well where you hate him, but it's not like to the point where you're annoyed with him.
No. You're never, you always just hate him.
Yeah, you just hate him to the point where you're like, yeah, I want to watch the scenes with him in it so I can enjoy how much I hate him, which is how you write a villain. Because if the villain is annoying, then you don't want to ever watch a scene with the villain because it's just annoying.
Yeah.
And they did it really well, and Tom Hollander did a great fucking job as Beckett.
Such a Napoleon complex.
I think a big part of that, he never ever felt threatened or like he had the underhand. He was always just like, yeah, I'm the most confident person in the room.
Yeah.
You know?
He always act like he was in control. Like I love how like in a movie series where you have an octopus man and a kraken and dirty scoundrel pirates, in all of that, the true villain is the British Empire.
Absolutely.
You hate the British, regular, real world British Empire. You hate them more than all the monster people. Like,
Controlled evil versus chaotic evil. Like,
Yeah.
you like the chaotic evil. It's fine.
yeah, and
It's necessary.
and they're taking all these elements from the real world and putting this fantastical spin on things, and it is true. Like you just hate Beckett, and that scene, of course, is one of the most iconic scenes of the whole franchise. In the third one, is Beckett's death scene when he's on the
business.
Beautiful.
what was the big, not the Interceptor, he's on the big ship,
The Dauntless.
the Dauntless, and it's right between the Flying Dutchman and the Black Pearl, and they're just blowing it to
Yeah.
shit, and he knows he's defeated, but he can't comprehend that he's been defeated, and he's just numbly walking down while this chaos and explode. It is one of the most
It's great.
beautiful, emotional, visual scenes ever, man. That's why it's been memed.
I know. It's like it's a GIF, and I use it constantly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Is it GIF or GIF?
It is.
It's
It's
Jeff.
GIF, but fuck you. I don't
GIF?
care.
'Cause it's
Tomato, tomato.
graphics, not graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
we're not getting into that.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I use that GIF because it's like it's one of those classic like, oh, it's fine, everything's fine, as everything is just blowing up around you,
And you're just trying
yeah.
to keep your composure.
Exactly.
And your life's falling apart.
Uh-huh.
We all relate to that.
100% every time.
Well, we need to move on to trivia here soon, but how many seashells would you give 4 and 5 or 3 2 sorry 2 and 3
Separately or together?
together because of this they're one movie.
I mean, together. 5 out of 5. I don't know.
Together, I'm going to give him 4.5 out of
Okay.
5 stars.
Nick?
Like number one is 5 out of 5, and I would say the other two together would be like a 4.5 out of 5. Okay.
Yeah, I go a little bit lower, like 4.
I'll say this. The first one, I'll give it a solid 4. The third one, a solid 5+. The second one, on its own, standalone, 3.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Well,
And then
you're going to give your...
no,
your
I said like 3.5, 4 maybe for it.
So I did want to say, too, there's this show that if you like Pirates of the Caribbean, I think it was Stars or Showtime did a
Black
show.
Flag?
Yes. Black Sails.
Black Sails, yeah.
And it's like Game of Thrones except pirates.
Pirates, it's great.
Yeah.
And it's called Black Sails, and no one is talking about this. It's like what, 4 seasons or something?
I've seen a
Yeah.
couple episodes.
And it is a beginning, middle, and end. Like it is satisfying conclusion, but it is amazing, and no one is ever talking about it. And it's like up there with like I think not quite up at Game of Thrones levels at its best, but like it is a great show. And if you like Pirates of the Caribbean, but you would like more of like a serious kind of kind of twist to it, definitely people should check that one out.
All
Black
right,
Sails.
and then like everybody, like I'm going to go to you. Give me like your 15, 20 second max, 4 and 5. Pirates of the
So,
Caribbean,
I
At
think
World's
it's
End,
important
and
to-
Pirates of the Caribbean.
so On Stranger Tides is 4, and Dead Men Tell No Tales is 5.
Thank you. Yes.
On Stranger Tides, it's just a story. It gets weird because then you have Blackbeard, who's an infamous historical figure, and then it gets kind of weird because like Edward his dad, the same name, whatever. That's just a story. It's not significant. Penelope Cruz's character is one of Jax's ex-lovers, not really significant at all. The fifth one, though, does tie into Jack's history. His history before Curse of the Black Pearl, how he came to be a pirate, how he came to have the compass, be a captain, how he got the Black Pearl in the first place, which I'll tie that into trivia in a second. But there's a lot of like backstory for the character that is present in the fifth movie. So I think that is a little significant. The story is fine. It's just, it's not, it's its own movie. It's its own story, as is the fourth one. So that's my bit.
All right, Nick.
I have one thing I'd like to say is the most accurate and like coolest representation of sirens and or mermaids
Mhm.
is number 4.
Ooh,
Yeah.
And I'm it's so fucking cool.
It is, and that
Everything
Charlie
about
Sailor
that
Bolt
scene
song I fucking love.
is my favorite. So
Yeah.
like I love that scene. The rest of it is kind of whatever to me, but like I loved that so much. Like I've always found like sirens and mermaids really interesting. I wrote one of my college theses on the origin of sirens and whatnot.
That's cool.
Yeah, and like so yeah, they first came up in Homer's Odyssey, and that's what it was created from. And that is the most accurate representation I've seen, and I love it.
Nice.
Alright.
I would like to add, though, at the very end of the fifth one, they do like the end scene or whatever.
Oh,
They do leave a little open door to what could possibly be the sixth installment.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of
So-
come back to Will.
Yeah.
My thing would be, like I said, Jack Sparrow doesn't work as good without Will Turner or a character like Will Turner.
Mhm.
And he doesn't have that in the fourth and fifth movies. Also, and this is a weird thing, but in the fifth movie, it's about Will's like son.
Mhm.
And I think he's entirely too old in that movie. Like, I wish they had gotten a younger actor and the character was like a little bit younger. Like the dude, he's like a fully grown.
He's like 22 years old.
Yeah, he's like a grown ass man. And it would have been cooler if he was like a teenager or something going on these. I just, that was just a little nitpick. I don't know. It just, they get those ages and out of the, and it was
Yeah.
kind of weird, So
it definitely was.
But other than that, I mean, yeah, they were trying to recapture the magic of the first movie and not quite succeeding. They had a different director and stuff.
Yeah, so
you can tell.
The fifth movie is non-existent. I don't even want to talk about it. But the fourth movie I actually do enjoy quite a lot.
Really?
I think it's good. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the original trilogy, but standalone, it's fun. What's his name is Blackbeard is awesome. Penelope Cruz is fucking great in it too.
She was pregnant during that.
And yeah, and her sister was
Wow.
fantastic in it as well. The sirens were cool. I like 4. I don't think 4 ends well. I feel like the third act is very much lacking in the fourth movie, but act 1 and 2 of it is dope. Now before we go into trivia though, because you brought up Matthew McConaughey and Robert De Niro, I ended up looking up actors who were offered a role in Pirates of the Caribbean. So originally, Hugh Jackman was supposed to be Jack Sparrow.
no.
Heath
Really?
Ledger was supposed to be Will Turner.
Uh-huh.
I,
guess
I could see that.
from A Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jessica Alba was supposed to be Elizabeth Swann.
Okay.
Robert De Niro as Barbosa. Richard E. Grant as Davy Jones.
Who is he?
He's a bad guy in everything now.
All right.
So he's just a bad boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from the Star Wars movie.
Yep.
One of them.
Mhm.
I can't
Alfred
remember that.
Molina was supposed to be Blackbeard.
Oh wow.
Megan Fox was supposed to be Cyrena.
Mm.
It's everyone who was hot in the early 2000s.
Taron Egerton was supposed to be Henry Turner, Will Turner's son,
Yeah.
which would have made a lot more sense.
Well, for that, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of the same age.
And then Christoph Waltz was supposed to be Captain Salazar.
Oh, now that would have been cool.
Yeah, I don't know if they could have used the name Salazar for Christoph Waltz, but
I would love for them to do Christoph Waltz in anything. Is just fantastic.
I'm cool with. But even the guy that played Captain Salazar, though,
he's amazing.
God damn it, what's his name?
Salazar. Which one is which? I can't remember.
Salazar was the fifth one.
So that's not Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old
I
Men.
don't know the name.
Oh my God,
You know the villain? He's got a bowl cut.
Javier Bardem. God damn it. All right, here it is. Let's just fucking go.
It's trivia time.
Well, today
Yes. Tell us about today, Owen.
I have to spin the wheel.
Yay.
It's a sad day.
Hey, am I in the lead overall?
You are in the lead by 2 points.
Oh,
right now.
this is close.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
So you have 79, I have 77.
you're gonna take the lead in this one.
I have
though.
a feeling
you
I am,
have
too.
Pirates of the Caribbean tattoos.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, hopefully. I have a Batman tattoo as well.
Yeah, but
and we know how that episode
I'm all about
ends.
the DC characters.
Yes. All right, here we go.
Dude,
so,
did you see the Flash trailer?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. All right, here we go.
You didn't like the Flash trailer? Oh, we're gonna have a talk after
All
this
right.
one.
3, 2, you ready?
Yeah, go.
All right.
What color is that?
Purple?
Oh, let me look
What's
at
purple, Brando?
Purple is it says Dracula mask.
Oh, I have to wear the Dracula mask. It fell on the ground behind you.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna fall.
or is it Dracula has to sit on my lap for 1 minute?
So
So if you don't know, my dog's name is Dracula, and he doesn't like anybody besides me. He
This is so stupid.
yells and growls at everybody.
Check out our Instagram and Twitter, and you can see see what we're doing.
I want to suck the blood.
You know, for our pirate episode, you should wear the Dracula mask.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Pat Daddy, I imagine that you have some really good trivia questions for us.
I got a couple up my sleeve.
All right, so go ahead and give us question number 1.
Okay. What was the name of the Black Pearl before it was the Black Pearl?
Say that one more time.
What was the Black Pearl called before it was the Black Pearl?
It had a name?
Oh my god.
Wait, did it say it in the movie?
So you see it in the 5th movie,
Oh god.
but it does have a whole history behind it.
I have no idea.
Or
I got something.
You have a guess?
I have a guess.
All right. It is the Coronado.
The songbird.
no.
No, okay.
Okay, it was
Well,
called.
did you see that face of disdain he
Well,
had?
I have no idea where
He
you get
was
those answers
judging the fuck out of you
Yeah.
guys.
from. Explain your answers first. I'm confused.
It's Jack Sparrow, songbird.
The Coronado's the
Oh.
name of the ship from Last Crusade.
Crusade.
Indiana Jones and Last Crusade.
So
It
the
belongs
ship-
in a museum.
So here's a little story for you. The ship is called the Wicked Wench.
Oh, that's a great name.
Before I explain the history of the ship, if you'll allow me, I do want to ask one more trivia
Sure.
question
Okay.
that ties into it.
Okay.
Ooh.
What is the mark that Jack left on Cutler Beckett or Lord Beckett?
Oh God.
And this is more of an ambiguous answer.
He left a mark?
Yeah,
on
So-
we each left our mark on one another. And
So we
then-
know what mark Beckett left on Jack.
Yeah, it was the
Correct.
P.
The branded pirate P.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the branded PP.
I'm trying to remember.
And again, this might be a little unfair of me to ask. This is not.
I remember the exact scene because it's when he's in Beckett's ship and he's looking
Yeah.
for the
So-
heart of Davy Jones.
There's like answers in the deleted scenes and also in the history of the story.
Is it the
But you
curiosity
could-
of the compass? It could be my guess.
He cut off his ear.
All right, Van
Wait,
Gogh.
there's fan theories that Jack Sparrow doesn't have a dick.
Is that why he's so obsessed with Will being a eunuch?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
theories that like he's obsessed with eunuchs, and anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, so
He's gotta have a dick. He's always getting in trouble with the ladies.
Maybe he's just really good with his tongue.
Color
There you go.
Beckett at one point said like,
Maybe
oh,
he's just emailing them.
what use would you have for the girl? It's referring to Swan.
I think the email back then was called Songbird.
Jesus. Okay, so when Jack was a pirate the first time, he was working with a rogue crew of pirates, whatever, and he was on a ship called the Wicked Witch. I'm getting this wrong. But when they fought Salazar, the captain died. He became the captain of that ship. And then after a certain amount of time, it wasn't that ship, it was a different ship. He ended up working for the East India Trading Company.
Jack Sparrow did.
Jack Sparrow was an employee of the East India Trading Company for about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
In that 5 years, he worked under and with Cutler Beckett, and there was an agreement they had where he was, ferrying cargo across the Atlantic from
Mhm.
Africa to whatever. He refused to ferry slaves, humans. Right?
Oh.
There was one instance though where Cutler Beckett said, "I will sell you the ship for $1 if you transport my cargo from one area to the other area, whatever." And there was this map, this destination, this voyage, and he basically found the map, found the treasure, cut Beckett out of it completely, and liberated all of the slaves on the ship.
Good for you, Jack.
So in the third movie, they do mention, a cargo being lifted or something being, let go, and he's like, "People aren't cargo, mate." And that was so in the deleted scenes, they go
okay.
into it in a little more
Gotcha.
in depth. But in
Okay.
the scene that is in the movie, they do mention that. So basically, Jack Sparrow freed Beckett's cargo, and then thus, leaving Beckett dishonored, basically,
okay.
lost his cargo, and then he was never able to achieve a nobility status. So that is the answer, basically. Jack prevented Cutler Beckett from reaching a status of nobility. That's the mark he left on him. As far as the name of the ship, it was called the Wicked Wench.
Yep.
After Jack liberated these slaves, Beckett had the ship. He arrested Jack. They found him, caught him, branded him with a P, set the ship on fire, and then it sank to the bottom of the ocean. And then at some point, I forget the storyline here, Jack was either about to die or drowning or something.
With
and,
Davy Jones.
And then he summoned Davy Jones. through some,
yeah. And Davy
Some,
Jones
you know.
brought the ship back from the depths.
Yes.
Oh, and that's why it's
And
black,
the
because
deal,
it's burned.
Exactly. The deal that he made with Davy Jones is I will be on your ship I'll sail with you for 100 years. If I can be captain of the Wicked Wench for 13 years, he renamed it the Black Pearl. And there's a biblical verse in there, the Pearl of Great Price.
Oh, wow.
okay.
So the price he paid was 100 years of servitude, and it was charred. It was black. So it was the Black Pearl from then on.
Huh.
See, that's funny too, because you're mentioning about like with the East India Trading Company. If you look at like the real history of some of this stuff, like a lot of these pirates, like the story of how like they're all gross and evil, a lot of that's coming from the British Empire. When you look at the real history, a lot of these guys, they just didn't want to be fucked over by like the British Empire.
That's why Jack was always like the ocean represented freedom.
Yeah,
that was the whole entire point.
Because if you were to work on a ship like lawfully, then you wouldn't get any money. You'd get paid poverty wages.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these guys they said, screw that, I'm going to do my own ship, and they would actually share equally in
each position got a part.
Yeah, yeah.
Where like the captain would get 10 parts, a swab would get 1 part, things like that.
And so a lot of that coming from history of like pirates being gross and dirty and scoundrels.
I mean, we talked about that with like the Vikings, right? Like the English were
weren't really that way.
No,
like,
but the English, we believe because of that. All right, what's the next trivia question?
Well, I wanted to touch on that if I may.
Sure.
The birth of piracy, honestly, is because the French and the Spanish and the English were at war basically, and like these were naval officers. They were sailors of the Crown or the Spanish Empire, and then they were all of a sudden out of work.
Yeah.
Oh,
they were either privateers, which meant that you could legally sack an English or a French ship.
You were a legal pirate. You were
as an employee of the Crown, but you're not a soldier, you're not a sailor or a naval officer.
Yeah.
So basically, they were legal pirates, and then a lot of history comes with that, where they were no longer employed and they just took it upon themselves to, take the treasure that was sunken by the whatever. So there's a lot of history with that.
We're running out of time,
Okay,
so
right,
let's get
Next
through
question.
this. No, I love the history lesson. Don't get me wrong, but
It's rich, baby.
Yeah.
So what is? Let me see. Who tried to kill Jack when he's on the beach in Davy Jones' locker? Said 4 of you tried to kill me in the past. 1 of you succeeded. Who are the people who tried to kill Jack?
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. So wait. So it was 4 people.
So he said 4 of you tried to kill me in the past. 1 of
Okay.
you succeeded.
Oh, I know 3 of them. Do we get a point for each?
Well, I mean, okay. So
You want to? Okay, you want to say them together?
okay. So,
I know who they are.
Okay,
I know
so-
3 of them.
yeah, 3 of them. It's going to be Davy Jones.
Yeah, Davy Jones.
Oh, sorry,
He wasn't-
Barbosa.
he wasn't-
Barbosa.
yeah,
Barbosa.
Barbosa.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Barbosa.
Barbosa and Will Turner,
Will Turner. Yep. And then Keira Knightley is the
Yeah.
one that actually killed him.
and she actually killed him.
So who's the
Is the 4th one Calypso?
Yes.
Oh,
So when he's going through all of them, saying like who can come with him on the ship, after he said that, she's like, don't tell me you didn't enjoy it at the time. That's in reference to the time that she tried to
nailed
kill
it,
him.
dude.
Wow. Okay. I did not realize it was Calypso. So Brando, you get a point.
Yay!
Oh wait, I just gave myself that point on accident. There we go. All right.
This one is if you saw the deleted scenes, which
Okay.
I don't know if you have.
Nope.
But you might.
Do
you might
research
get
for
this
our
one.
episode? No.
Who taught Jack Sparrow the song "Drink Up Me Hearties, Yo-Ho"?
I have a guess, and I can't remember the dude's name, but I know who he is, or I have a guess for who he is.
I actually don't think. I think it was his mom.
Was it his first mate?
It was Elizabeth Swan.
What?
And they're
No,
on the island.
no. They sing the song, and he goes, but he's known this song for a while.
No, she taught him the song on that island.
When they were drinking together on the bonfire.
But that's why it's a deleted scene. It's not
Deleted
canon.
scene.
Yeah, it's not canon. Okay.
Well, neither one of us were right.
Yeah,
though,
I
so.
still that is not canon. That's why would a pirate not know that song?
If I were a pirate, I know the pirate song.
Yeah.
You're not pirate enough for the pirate club.
song? It's a man dressed like a doubloon. I'm not piratey enough for the pirate club.
Pirate. Why do you keep saying pirate? Who's not know what pirates do?
Pirate, just walking around, you know, little pirate over there, pirate over here. You want to be a pirate? I want to be a pirate. You want to be a pirate with me? Let's go be pirates.
I gotta admit, these questions are a little tough.
Okay. How many more deleted scenes questions do you
That's
have?
why we're fucking around. Because we
This
know
one's
we're
not a
We're
good
trying
lose.
to break the tension here.
We know we're gonna lose.
Okay. When Will is looking for Jack, trying to find him in the second film, he's going around asking all these sailors if they've seen a ship with black sails, yada, yada, yada. There's this one guy he's talking to, and he directs him to the island where Jack is on, where all the cannibals are there. And he says, there's this island along the Straits of whatever, where I used to trade this long pork and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what does long pork mean?
Oh, I know this one.
Long pork?
Yeah.
Long pork.
What is long pork?
I have a guess. I remember, you know what's funny? I remember exactly
That's
the
it,
scene
yeah.
and the character that you're talking about. Because it's like a Jamaican dude and he's mending his net
Mhm.
on the
Mhm.
docks.
Yep.
I'm just hoping I get credit.
That's good memory. So
My guess is it bacon?
no, it's human.
Human flesh.
Oh.
Because apparently humans taste like pork.
Oh,
And
gross.
when the guy's rowing him to shore, he goes no further and says, like, nope, you can get off here.
Yeah.
Because they all know what is on the island.
oh, yeah.
But just unwary travelers looking for, they're like, yeah, we'll send them there and they'll meet their fate and whatever. So the name of the people of that island, do you guys know the name of the people?
Did they have a real name? Because I feel
yeah.
like when Jack Sparrow was talking to them in their native language, it was made up words. He was just saying- He was like moogie moogie and saying words. And I'm like, those aren't real words.
So they're called the Pelagostos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And in Portuguese, pele gosto means skin, like. They like skin.
Oh.
Huh.
Oh, skin lovers.
Skin lovers, basically. Yeah.
Anyways, question. What's the next question? It's tied 1-1.
Okay. Who was Jack named after? And there could be a two-part answer. The Jack part and also the Sparrow part. How did he get the name Sparrow, but also who was he named after being Jack?
Okay, well,
Okay, I have a guess.
his.
I think his dad named the dog Jack.
The dog? You're named after the dog?
We named the monkey Jack.
The monkey. How about how the monkey stayed undead because he refused to give back his
yeah.
gold coin throughout the whole series? No, was he
even
named
more
after
annoying
like
miniature.
Jack of all trades?
No.
Oh,
I don't know the Jack part. I think I know the Sparrow part though.
Okay, what's the Sparrow part?
I think it comes from Salazar, right? Because
Yeah.
Salazar named him the little
Because he was in the
sparrow.
crow's nest
Yeah.
and he's like tripping
Oh,
along.
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I had no
the Jack
idea.
part, so think about it.
Because
His
he
dad,
likes to get off.
His
That's what
dad
it
is
is.
Edward T.
Keira Knightley gave him that name.
Yeah, she did.
Always Jack.
Jacket.
We're going to go to the 5th episode here. His dad is Keith Richards.
Okay,
His dad's brother,
Uncle Jack.
Uncle Jack.
Ah,
Uncle Jackie.
Who's Uncle Jack?
which actor?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I know this one.
I didn't rewatch the 4th or 5th one, so
I think I know who it
I'm
is.
sorry.
It's Ozzy Osbourne.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
Oh, I was like, it's gonna be like a rock star or something.
Yeah,
It's
because
gotta be,
originally they tried to get Mick Jagger to do
Yeah.
it, but he said no.
yeah, Mick Jagger,
Uh-huh.
like it's like he's like Irish or something.
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger, Mick Jagger,
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger. I hardly know her.
Jagger.
Mick
You
Jagger.
don't know who Mick Jagger is?
I know who Mick Jagger
Okay,
is, but
I'm
you
getting
said
so
it,
confused.
Mick Jagger.
You say, but
Oh,
you
no.
say it like it's one word.
Mick
though.
Jagger.
like he's like got a
Mick
Scottish-
Jagger.
The boys,
like
the
Mick Jagger
boys
from
are
the
coming
Jagger
out.
clan,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
McDonald's. It's not Mick.
So, okay, hold on. Here we
Donald's.
go. Mick
What'd you call me?
Jagger.
You stupid asshole.
The
Was
boys
that
are coming
long
out
enough
because they
pause?
think we
Well,
got
now I know who
swagger.
you're talking
Thinking about Mick Jagger. He's a Highlander. He could be the only one.
It could be only one.
He could only be one Mick Jagger.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat Daddy.
That's okay.
You're a real fan.
I was trying to quote Kesha just now.
Oh,
like, just
God.
ignore that.
Do you got the moves like Mick Jagger?
No, that's Maroon 5.
Mick Jagger.
The curve and let's say, look like Mick Jagger.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
talking
that's
about-
right. Yeah.
All right, do you have like an easy one for us? like a softball. You could, like Johnny Depp plays Jack Sparrow.
What is the scab on Jack's face?
Oh, that's actually a good question. I keep noticing that.
Oh,
Wait, do they tell you what it is?
No, I think I know what it is though.
I have a guess.
Okay,
Is it scurvy?
no, it's herpes.
Syphilis.
I was gonna say syphilis. Oh, I wanted to put in my answer. Never mind. Oh,
You were
bummed.
closer though.
I'm not
It
going to
was-
take a point for
it's
that.
an
STD. It's an STD.
Oh, that's funny.
I think I went through most of the questions.
All right.
I got one more, but like you're not gonna. It doesn't.
Yeah,
matter.
no, give it to us. You got one more?
No,
Let's
the
do it.
name. The name of the. Ooh, how did he acquire the ship, or sorry, boat, dinghy, if you will, at the very beginning of Curse of the Black Pearl, and what was the name of that boat?
Oh God.
I think I know.
The name's a bonus.
Okay.
How did he acquire that boat?
This is gonna.
Oh gosh.
You looked so confident for a second.
Via
I know.
email.
I know it's gonna
Can
be a
I
joke.
take this?
I need to stop looking confident.
What do you got, Brandon?
It was the SS Minnow, and it was just supposed to be a 3-hour tour. How is that our first Gilligan's Island joke on this episode?
Oh God! Because that show was around when you were an adult, and it's not been existing.
I used to love
for
watching that
us.
show with my grandkids.
All right, what is it really, Pat Daddy?
The name of the boat is the Jolly Mon, but it belonged to Anna Maria.
Oh, that makes sense.
Nice.
You
Yeah.
stole my boat. Borrowed. Borrowed.
Oh,
Bringing
that's
it back.
Zoe Saldana's character.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
And she never came back, did she?
Now she refused to come back. She was apparently did not have a good time on set. filming
Wow.
for that movie and just almost quit acting completely after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the secret, though, to $1 billion is to put Zoe Saldana in your movie.
100%.
And
yes.
paint her a different color.
Yes.
And paint her a different color.
every time.
Pat Daddy, you've been amazing. Nick, as always, you're amazing. Where can we find you? If people want to be friends with you on the internet, where would we find you, Pat?
Well, I'm on the Instagrams under no other than Pat Daddy 92. And that's,
Nice.
give me a follow, give me a like, subscribe, share, whatever.
Send him some emails.
Send me an email.
Smash that like button.
But yeah.
Other than that, I'm out and about. Keep a weather eye on the horizon.
All right.
Nice.
And Nick.
Nick, from the amazing Wasted Truth.
You could follow my podcast at Wasted Truth Pod on Instagram. And you can follow me at Nicolette K, spelled NIKOLETTEK. Was it too scripted?
It's just-
You can tell.
I'm
you-
having PTSD right now
I'm
because
sorry.
I'm sober, and every single time I've heard her say that, I'm usually really drunk.
that's what you do on there.
And everyone-
And you can also listen to Wasted Truth on,
anywhere you
anywhere.
get podcasts.
Yeah.
It's
Anywhere you could find your podcast.
It's a fantastic show.
Yes,
And if
and
you
we-
haven't heard the season finale yet, you got to check it out.
All shucks.
And everyone remember to check out our Instagram and Patreon and website. All links are in the show description.
And we're proud members of the Helios Network, a collection of great podcasts made by regular people.
Yep, check us out at www.theheliosnetwork.com. And there is a button on that website where you can send us an email. There is
Yes.
contact us if you want to send us some email.
Please.
Owen
just
at theheliosnetwork.com.
email anything but yes.
all of your masturbatory requests to Owen
I'm
at
just gonna say
theheliosnetwork.com. Just reply all.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'm going to be like Jim Carrey and Bruce Almighty. Yes. But
He's sitting at his laptop waiting for the emails to come in, guys.
This guy
and,
needs a
you
life.
can check out some other amazing podcasts on our network. Like I'll Be Careful, You'll Be Dead.
Yes.
Which is a fantastic, hilarious Star Wars podcast. That's with Chris and Xavier. They've both been on Banter and such before. And every single week they get together and nerd out about Star Wars.
Heck yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Well, I love you all, and thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Banter and Such.
Next week, we are finally done with our mini adventure series on
yeah.
adventure movies. So we're getting something kind of new and different. different. We're going to go and we're going to explore the movie pantheon of none other than Jake Gyllenhaal. And we're having the gore whore queen herself, Lexi Redding, with us.
All right. Well, I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And until next time, may your week be filled with BS.